That's a very good question, and I think the reason that engagement on global health is important is for a number of reasons. One, business ultimately is about people. It's about people within the business, but it's also about people within as customers. And so if you don't have healthy employees, you can't have a good business. If you don't have healthy customers, you can't have a good business. And so really health and good health is one of the cores that leads to growth and sustainability for everybody. That's a good question. For us, the development of Olyset Net and the Olyset Net business was really about taking technology that we had and an ability and finding a benefit to society for that. And so for us, we use the term creative hybrid chemistry. And that's where we try to take disparate parts and technologies within our business to develop new things that are helpful, both to ourselves and to society. And for us, we see Olyset Net and its use to fight malaria as just another extension of that. Well, for us, I guess the roots are twofold. One, we had developed a number of years ago the ability to put insecticide into a polymer plastic, and that had been sold around the world in flea collars and in ear tags for livestock to prevent flies from getting in animals' eyes. Some of our factory workers in the southern part of Japan utilize that know-how to make the netting material to help keep flies and insects out of the factory. Our chairman, Mr. Yanakura, happened to be attending the World Economic Forum in Davos when the call went out for the need for bed nets. He recognized that and said, well, we have that capability. If someone wants bed nets, we can make bed nets. And we utilize that technology to do that. And that's exactly how things got started. Yeah, I mean, there's two different ways that Olyset have had a positive impact within the local community. One is as a malaria fighting tool. And so if you go out into the villages in sub-Saharan Africa where people have had malaria before, after we've been able to introduce an Olyset bed net in there and the number of times that they've got malaria has decreased, magically and very quickly, their lives have improved. Suddenly, farmers who used to get sick during planting time are now healthy during planting time, and so they've been able to see their yields increase. Children who were sick and couldn't attend school can suddenly go to school. And so from the health standpoint, as a user of the net, there's been a very quick and very measurable benefit in the community where the nets have been introduced. On the other side, because we've located our manufacturing in Tanzania in this particular instance, you've taken an area where there were not full-time jobs, and we've introduced two different aspects. One is a normal, regular, reliable wage and all the benefits that go with that. But secondly, we've introduced a whole series of training so that we have now a skilled workforce. That skilled workforce not only can do a better job making nets for us, but those employees have the opportunity to move on to other factories and use those same trainings to improve their lives as well. And so there really are two different benefits. One from the health benefits of the net itself, fighting malaria. The other is the benefit of having a local job. Well, that's a really good question. I mean, for me, I think like a lot of people, I like to take pride and I like to enjoy what I'm doing. If you've ever talked to somebody who suddenly you solved a problem for, you get a really positive feeling. To go into sub-Saharan Africa and talk to people who have benefited from the use of the bed nets, you just get a wonderful feeling because you know that you've made their life better. Same thing for people now who have a job. If they weren't working before and now they have a job and they can realize some of their dreams, sending their kids to school, buying a house, getting a radio, buying a cell phone, it's really hard to duplicate that feeling. And so that's one of the great enjoyments of the job. Sumitomo Chemical was started by a Buddhist monk about 400 years ago. The Sumitomo family was started that way. And when the business started, when he started his business, he started as a pharmacy, chemist shop / bookstore because he wanted to help people's health and their mind. Those were the two things he wanted to do. As the family business grew, he wrote down a set of principles by which the business should be run. And one of those key principles was, whatever you do in business, not only must it be good for business, but it must be good for society as well. And so now, over 400 years later, we're still able to live by the same founder's precepts, that whatever we do has to be good, not only for our business, but it has to be good for society too.